How's everybody doing today on this rainy Sunday morning? I know it was hard for me to get out of my bed. So you sure it was hard for you all to get out. I don't know if it was, but that rain was sounding sweet this morning.
Current got on too.
Oh, we had current, so the fire was blowing nice and breeze outside. And I said, wow, this has been a good day not to be the pastor. But that all comes with the territory, so.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Coming here sustains me, man. So I'm happy that you all are here. I know you all feel the same way. And the message for today revolves around kind of a message that's reverberating around the city right now. This whole idea of the gambling referendum, and is gambling something that should be made legal? Should we pretend like it's illegal? You have to say it that way.
Yeah.
And as I was sitting down, really putting things together yesterday for this morning's sermon, I really started to think, and really what my spirit led me or guided me to investigate, or kind of the message that my spirit said, you must deliver this message, is that churches are part of the reason why people are gambling in the first place. Now I know some people can look at or listen to this and say, man, this fellow just trying to be provocative. He's just trying to get people to listen to what he has to say, or find out what the Qubtic church is all about. And you're right. That is a part of what I'm doing. However, it's also true. It's also true. So today we're going to walk through the scriptures, because we need to understand, first and foremost, that the book of Genesis 1:26, Genesis 1:26 speaks to something that I think many of us have forgotten, and especially many ministers, many pastors, many congregants don't really pay attention to this verse, and therefore we lose sight of who we are. Genesis 1:26 says, and God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So right here in Genesis 1:26, we are told who we are essentially. Okay? Essentially we are God. We are the caretakers. Okay? Now of course, this rendition here has been tampered with by the Greco-Romans, and they've used or utilized this particular verse to go into people's lands and take resources and take people and shift things around, because as far as they're concerned, they were given permission to dominate or have dominion over everything. And the reality is, we as a people, or as humanity, is supposed to have a symbiotic or give and take relationship with the planet. But the point I'm making here, and starting with this verse, is that we have control of our destiny as a people, because we're made in the image and after the likeness of Nassau Elohim, of Anere, of the Most High Heavenly One. And therefore, because we have control of our destiny, we are responsible for where we are in this day and time, right? So we started out reading in the original books of the Bible out of book number 10, the book of the divine principles of Ma'at, which is to say universal order and the balancement of deeds. And verse 50 on page 200 says, O humanity, give not your supplications or your prayers over to the powers of death and destruction. For in doing such, you prolong your own sufferings and that of all humanity. So you have this power to control your own destiny. Yet, You're being now instructed to say, don't give your prayers over, don't give your energy over to the powers of death and destruction. Because what are you going to do? Prolong your own sufferings and that of all humanity. We wonder why we have so much killing, we wonder why we have so much frustration, we wonder why we have so much confusion. However, we are to blame. Right? We are to blame. Instead, you are to work each day in such a manner as to ensure that you give all praises and supplications to Ane, which is the divine presence which exists within the lives of all, the Most High Heavenly One, the Mother, Father, creation. Right? Thus, you are commanded to affirm out loud each day. Please repeat after me. I remember always the guardian angelic, mothers and guardian angelic, fathers, thereby I will not give my devotional worship to any except Ane, nor encourage others to do such. Now, this leads right into the title of this sermon. Churches are part of the reason people are gambling. The church has missed the mark. The church has taken on a rendition of an original way of life, which in the Qubtic church we know as atonism. And they've taken this way of life of atonism. Okay, the Greek Orthodox Church, okay, that Alexander the Greek was partly responsible for starting. The Roman Catholic Church, that Constantine was partly responsible for starting. The King James Anglicans and others have distorted an original way of life, atonism, at-oneism. And therefore, we as Afro-Bahamians, especially, and humanity at large, are missing the mark because we're not becoming at one with who we are. Okay, so this message isn't only for Africans, this message is for humanity because we all have a point of origin. And if you're missing the mark, insofar as you're being ruled by the opinions of Greco-Romans, and their opinions dominate religion as we know it today, which is why we are having the problems that we are having, because their corruption of an original way of life has benefited them more so than it has benefited everyone else. But that was not the Most High's original plan. Therefore, when Yahshua came 2,000 odd years ago, as some would say, or 3,500 years ago, as we say or know in the Qubtic church, we read Matthew 15 verse 14, and it explains exactly what is happening in the church today and why people are losing their way and why people don't have faith anymore in the church, and they have more faith in numbers and gambling than they do in the church. Matthew 15 verse 14 says what? Let them what? Alone. Let them alone. Leave them alone. They are blind leaders of the what? Blind. Of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Both shall fall into the ditch. So you see humanity falling into the ditch, or society rather. But you also see the church falling into the same ditch. The same confusion you see outside in the street is the same confusion in church. Because church missed the mark. Okay? Church has erred insofar as we have not gotten to the linguistic reality of what the Bible actually is saying. We don't even know what the Bible is, where it came from, what the word Bible means. The word Bible is not even in the Bible. So why are we calling it Bible? We have the answer, but now we're asking the questions because you, and I'm speaking about those that have ruled Christendom now for the past 2,000 years, have stood over everybody and told everybody, if you don't follow this way of life, you are going to hell, you're going to suffer, you're going to be punished. And we listen to that, and we follow that, and we still in the ditch. We still in the pit. And so what have people done? People say, well listen, it's cute, I'll dress up, I'll go, I'll make sure everybody who needs to see me go in there, sees me go in there. But I really don't believe this nonsense. We know this because the gambling houses are thriving. You can't have a nation of 350, 400,000 people or whatever have you that is Christian and have so many gambling houses running, so many bars running, so many strip clubs running. We ain't even gotta go across the Bahamas. We can just stay right here in New Providence. There's 60 or 80,000, how many people live here on this one island? We can stay right here and look at what businesses are thriving, and I'll let you know what the people really into. Even in America, the Huffington Post did a Gallup poll, and America now even is at an all-time low of believing traditional religion. It was just done days ago. But why? Because the church missed the mark. Because those who perpetrated actually knowing the scriptures didn't really know the scriptures. They don't even have all the scriptures. And therefore they've made up scriptures. They've put in all the commentary to try to fill in the blanks. They've done everything that they could do to get you to hold on and give your powers to what? Give your powers to death and destruction. That's all we can be giving our powers to right now, because that's all we see happening. So the people have listened now for 2,000 years. The church has not delivered. We've been told this story about how a man came to earth and he was the Son of God. He was the Son of God. He died for our sins, and he took our place in dying for our sins, and then he resurrected, and then he went back, and he's supposed to come back when? Quickly, shortly. I mean, how different ways they translate it. It means soon. And soon back then should have meant soon back then. Well, they can say they should have been born in heaven. But that, he died for all our sins. Or somebody lying. We got to talk straight now, because we got pastors and people of the cloth, people in the church, standing up and telling us we need to, as they would say, push on through these hard times and let integrity guide us. So you know what has happened to integrity when your children looking at you telling you they hungry? Or as a man, your wife looking at you saying, "That's what I gave it you for? You can't even provide for me and my children and our children." You know where integrity goes, right? Straight out the window. So let's look at this word integrity. This word integrity, when we look at it, as far as the etymology of it is concerned, means innocence, blameless, chastity, purity, everything the church is supposed to be. Yeah? But then it gets back to reality after a while. Or rather, it goes into the Latin integritatem, soundness, wholeness, blameless, or blamelessness. From what word? Integrity comes from the word integer. Integer. Let's get back to reality. Integer, which means whole, a sense of wholeness, a perfect condition. Alright? We look up the word integer. What is an integer? A whole number. A whole number. This word integrity is based upon the word integer, and the word integer means a whole number, opposed to fraction. So we can talk about integrity. What about the integrity of the scriptures that's supposed to be guiding us to keep us in the mindset of being people that are moved by integrity? The scriptures are fractions of the original. So if you want to talk about integrity, which is something complete, something holistic, which by the way is the meaning of the word perfect. You look up the word perfect, it means to be completed. Not, some people define it as blameless or innocent. We all have our perfect moments. I've gotten 110% actually on some tests. I was more than perfect. What does that mean as far as my everyday life is concerned? It means she was perfect then. Not always. I had to be made perfect. I had to study to show myself approved. Yeah? So, this word, integrity, then, also shares a root word with the word integral. Because what integral and what integral components do we need to getting people to think about whether gambling is something they should be doing or not? And this is where the church is missing the mark. You can't just stand up and say gambling is wrong, don't do it, and you can be fine. That's foolishness. Nowhere in the Bible does it say gambling is a sin. You hear them quoting any scriptures? Because they can't. They can put some pieces together. See, that's fractions again. We ain't want no fractions. We want the whole story. We want to understand exactly what the whole story is. To the word integral, of or pertaining to a whole. Back to the whole again. Integralis. From the Middle Latin, forming a whole. From the Latin, integer. Again, whole, related integrally as a noun from the adjective. So, when we talk about integrity, we got to get back to the whole story. We got to understand what's really going on. Yeah? So, some people say, the Bible does say that we are not supposed to gamble. And I challenge you to correct us if we are wrong. We would be happy to find the breaks so we can share that scripture with others if it's part of the whole. Not if you all put it there. There's some things you all put in here but wasn't here at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? But let's look at really what's the real issue behind gambling. It's not gambling. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 5 verse 10. You know, Ecclesiastes is one of the wisdom books. Proverbs and all of them. Common sense. That's what the church needs to focus on. Because verse 5, chapter 5, verse 10. Ecclesiastes. One second, bear with me. 5, 10. And it says what? He that loveth what? Silver, which could also be looked at as money, something of worth, right? And it could also be she too. I say, he that loveth silver, I say, well, she that loveth silver, right? That loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This is also vanity. So what it's saying is, people that just love money for the sake of loving money are never going to be happy, no matter how much money they get. They're going to always want more. You're never satisfied because there's always more money to get. There's always something to go after and say, okay, I got the first Hummer, I want two now. Because Craig have two. You got a house here, and I need a house in the island. So I don't have to stay in the hotel, like Shawnee now. There's always somebody who can look at who have more money than you. Even Bill Gates can look up to Warren Buffett. And vice versa, depending on what day it is. Fluctuate, right? You know how the stocks go. Right? So, this vanity or this vain emotion is really what we're dealing with. Yeah? We move on to one of the most famous verses, 1 Timothy 6 and 10. 1 Timothy 6, verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil. Not like some, 1 Timothy 6, verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all. We just finished talking about all, the whole, the integer. Not like a little bit, like, okay, when you love money, it's only about that type of evil or this type of evil. All evil you could think of, it says, it goes right back to the love of money. Does it mean money is the root of all evil? No. But the lack of money too. It's the love of it. It's the same vain emotion we just read in Ecclesiastes. Where enough can't be enough. Yeah? We misquote this left, right, and center. Money is the problem. They're trying to keep you broke. We can go through a scripture today to talk about all that foolishness because the same people who telling you, well, gambling is wrong, making money off gambling. They got pastors that was praying for the opening of Bahamas. Come on, they just called the clergy to bless the casinos. And these same clergymen can stand up and say gambling is wrong. That's hypocritical. That's foolishness. So for the love of money is the root. The love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after. Okay, they love it, they want it, they need it. Gambling is only a tool. We ain't get to the meaning of gambling yet. Then we move to Luke 16 and 13. Luke 16 and 13. No servant can serve two masters. No servant can serve two masters. For either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. He cannot serve God as they have here, or the Most High Heavenly One, and the ray, and mammon. Look at this word mammon, it's talking about riches, money. They have erred from the faith. They have erred from the faith and passed themselves through with many sorrows. Right back to the original books of the Bible where it speaks about not giving your supplications over to the powers of death and destruction, for in doing such you prolong your own sufferings and that of all humanity. It's right here in Luke chapter 16, verse 13. They have erred from the faith. What faith? The faith in self and kind. The faith in their original way of life. The faith in the whole story. The integral part of what makes something what it is. They erred in that. That's what happened to the church, and this is why we say the church is part of the reason why people blaming, because you're not giving them what they need to sustain themselves, so they don't have to go out there and do the gambling. If they had the right mind, then they would actually know what to do with it. And they wouldn't be out there wasting their time trying to get rich off of one number or what have you. Yeah? Then we go to Proverbs 10. So this is talking about the laziness that the church breeds. The church breeds a bunch of lazy, incompetent, and I can go on and on and on people. Making excuses and judging everybody while they're doing it. Everybody who's successful is in the Illuminati. What kind of stupidness is that? Any black person that's successful, you got hip hop in the Illuminati. LeBron James in the Illuminati. Come on, man. You don't get that high and not have to rub shoulders with people in the Illuminati. Guess who's starting over your churches? Anyway, Proverbs 10 and 4. You got a church full of broke people who's supposed to be saved. He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand, a lazy hand. He ain't doing what you're supposed to do. But the hand of the diligent maketh rich. When you diligent about what you're supposed to be doing, you'll be rich. It don't always mean money either. We ain't the richest church as far as money is concerned. But when it comes to the scriptures, our bank account full. You come here needing something as far as an answer is concerned, you can leave here full and your cup running over. That's what we was promised and that's what we promising. You understand? So, the blind is leading the blind. That's Matthew 15 and 14, as well as Luke 6 and 39, if you want to just write it down, is speaking on. So you got churches that don't know the scriptures, because they don't even have them, or don't even care to pay attention to what they do have. And then you got people just following blindly behind them. So both of them are now in the ditch. So now we have a country that is thriving off of gambling. In other words, the misdeed as gambling is concerned is when you start to put more faith and more hope into winning a number than you do in the Most High. You understand? Because we now must look at the meaning of the word gamble. From a dialectal survival of the Middle English gambling, a variant of gammening, to play, jest, be merry. It's the root of this word now, is to play. So any game, you get the word, game, gamble. So if you decide to play football, you're taking a gamble. More so than if you play baseball, because the football players get hurt way more than the baseball players. Matter of fact, the baseball players make more money, got better contracts. I don't know why you play football, but that's another story. You just gotta love it, right? Right? So we go on further before I jump into this. From the Old English Gaminian, to play, joke, pun, from gamen, and they say, see the word game. Or possibly gamble is from a derivative of gamil, to play games. Itself likely a frequentative from game. Originally regarded as a slang word, the intrusive B may be from confusion with gambol, related to gambling, the noun meaning risky venture. No risk, no what? No reward. Who has gained anything without taking a risk? So is gambling the problem? Can't be. Because when you get in the car and you pile up your family in there and you say you can drive from point A to B, on this road you gambling. Everything you do, you want to start a business in this economy, that's a gamble. You want to stay out after sunset with all these murders, that's a gamble. We could go on and on and on. So gambling is really being taken out of context. Gambling is truly being taken out of context. No venture is started without some kind of risk. See? And the same people, they have to keep harping on this. Who say, well, I never played numbers in my life. But you played Florida lottery before, though? Yeah, but that one legal. Okay. So make this one legal, do that. It doesn't happen. The government already accepted money from the gambling houses. My gosh. And in public, hurricane relief, junk canoe, I mean, go on and on. All big in the paper. Not in the back, on the front. FML. I in luck. And that's why they have to now come out and say, listen, we need to just keep it real and, you know, go ahead and make this thing legal, because they don't get pictures of taking checks. From the government to the pastors, to the people who go in there, to the policemen. It's ridiculous. Yeah? And I am saying, and I hope people understand where I'm coming from, the church is far to blame, because the church is not doing its job. People into entertainment. They're not into the actual message that Joshua had. And that's what was talked about in Revelation chapter 19, verse 10. This John was talking about the marriage supper of the Lamb. Revelation 19 and 10. So he is meeting one of the brothers of the Assyrian or Assyrian societies, who he's meeting. Some would say angels, whatever floats your boat. Yes, but what happened? He fell at his feet to worship him. Right? John fell at the feet of this man to worship him, and he said unto him, see what thou doest not. We talked about this many times. Please get up from brother. You know what I mean? It ain't like that. I am thy fellow servant. Me and you the same. You need to brush your ears off. Let me show you what you need to be doing. Because what? It says, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahshua. There's a brethren, a brotherhood, a society, men and women, that have the testimony of Yahshua. The real message. Not just hullabaloo people running all way. When Jesus said He's the way, the truth, and the life, and no one gets to the Father but by Him, He didn't mean stand behind me and bow down to me. He said, watch what I'm doing and you do it too. Pick up your own cross. I'm not here to pick up no cross for you. Whoever told you that is confusing you. Because you're here waiting for some miracle to happen when you're supposed to be creating miracles. You understand? So there's a society, a brotherhood, a sisterhood that has the testimony of Yahshua. Then he says, worship God. In Greek is theos. Yeah? Worship and narrate. Was said, because this wasn't written in Greek, English, Latin, Galilean Arabic, one of the Shemitic languages, is what this was written in. Yeah? And further to that, it comes out of ancient Africa. worship the Most High Heavenly One. For the testimony of Yahshua is the spirit of prophecy, the correct consciousness that all of us are now a part of. That all of us are now a part of. We're working tirelessly. Parchment number 15 is almost done. Speaking on Yahshua. So when they go up, I don't know if it'll be ready then, but in short order. I'm not going to give any dates because these things take time, but we're working hard on it. And like I said, the first book of that particular parchment of papyrus is 22 chapters of Revelation by Stanji, Book of Salvation. So we can explain it for what it really is supposed to be. So we're not confused as to what the Greco-Romanized version of what they call Christianity is given us, right? So let's move now to the book of Amos. Because Amos 5 has some very, very powerful. Yes. When you say Amos, what you really saying? Amos. When you say Amos, you're saying Amos. Amos and Kahmos, one of the Moseses. And these were those who worked effortlessly, chapter 5. Who worked effortlessly to bring back the original way of life. As Revelation chapter 2 speaks, it says, you have to get back to your first love. Tonism. That's right. Amos 5:1. Hear ye this word which I take up against you, even a lamentation, O house of Israel. Talking to Israel now. Okay? Israelites, not Israeli, Israelites. Says the virgin of Israel is fallen. Okay? The virgin of Israel is fallen. The bride. She shall no more rise. She is forsaken upon her land. There is none to raise her up. Sounds familiar. For thus saith the Lord God, the city that went out by 1,000 shall leave 100, and that which went forth by 100 shall leave 10 to the house of Israel. Because you're not living the way of life. You're going to lose your children. You're going to lose your fathers, your mothers. You're going to lose all of those people that were being protected when Israel was living the way that it was supposed to live. When we as Bahamians get back to our true way of life, the world will notice. Because like Marcus Garvey said, Bahamas will be the last to know, but the first to do something about it. That's what we see happening today. Verse 4, for thus saith the Lord unto the house of Israel, seek ye me. Seek ye me, and ye shall live. Y'all want to live? You got to know who to seek. So you can't just throw any painting up on the wall and read from any book and say, you saved and sanctified. As it says in 1 John, if you don't believe, let's just go there. Stick a pin. So go right down into the New Testament. Go down to 1 John. Chapter 4. Because we want to make sure
First John, chapter 4.
I can tell you which verse right now.
Oh,
I want to go to 1 John 4:3. And every spirit that confesses not that Yahshua Christ is come in the flesh is not of God. Everybody said, well, you got to worship him in spirit and truth, but he was in the flesh. Right? And this is that spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is it in the world. Right? So every spirit that confesses not that Yahshua Christ, the day of Jesus Christ here, has come in the flesh, is not of God. Not of the Most High. So don't tell me it don't matter how we look. Don't tell me it don't matter. If he came in flesh, his flesh was a certain color. Right? Revelation chapter 1 gives you that description. So we have to get back to the reality of what actually was to know what the reality is. So we move to verse 5. But seek not vessel. Seek not vessel. What is this word vessel? You finish reading the verse first and we go on to that. Nor enter unto Gilgal, and pass not to Beersheba, for Gilgal shall surely go into captivity, and Bethel shall come to naught. Amos 5 verse 5. Back to Amos. I'm so sorry. Anyone can jump to the first John to show you that. This word Bethel means house of El. El is a Canaanite deity. When we go into the original books of the Bible, as the introduction, on page 11, now this is coming out of the original books of the Bible, page 11, the very last paragraph. Now, in order for this name, and it's talking about the name of Ane-Re, the Most High Heavenly One. Now, in order for this name, the most divine of names, to remain holy, sacred, and revered, none can be allowed, for whatever reason, to mistranslate or misinterpret it. In order for it to stay holy, sacred, and revered, it cannot be mistranslated or misinterpreted. Though many Greco-Romanized minds have attempted to do so by calling the Most High Heavenly One by the names of Canaanite, Greek, Roman, Indo-Arabs, Armenian, Teutonic, and Germanic gods, namely El, Alat, Allah, Baal, God, Jehovah, deity, and Gut, which is where you get the word God from. El, Alat, Allah, Baal, God, Jehovah, deity, and Gut. Elohim is translated to become God. Right? So when they say in Amos chapter 5, but seek not Bethel, talking about seek not those houses that are perpetrating the gods of the Greco-Romans, which is what we have in our country today. Right? It's right here. It says, Bethel shall come to naught. Nothing. Verse 6, seek the Lord, and ye shall live. Lest he break out like fire in the house of Joseph, and devour it, and there be none to quench it in Bethel. That's what's happening. They're waiting for some savior to come, and they're part of the problem. Because they're perpetrating a misinformation.
This is an El and Bethel up. House of God, right?
A house of El.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah. El is one of their gods. Right? So, we look at verse 7 now. Ye who turn judgments, which is to say divine law. You're taking divine law and you're turning it into wormwood, which is a curse. How did you do that? Because you took it out of the original languages You mistranslated it and you misinterpreted it. And now we're not living by the original divine laws, which leaves us out in the wilderness. And being out there in the wilderness, you get back into animal mode, survival mode. So gambling is the least of our problems. Right? When you have that kind of mindset. You turn judgment to wormwood and leave off righteousness in the earth. You leave it off because you say you ain't interested in knowing about the original scriptures, because somewhere in those original scriptures it can tell you where you from. Seek him that maketh the 7 stars. Uh-oh. What 7 stars? I know Orion. The word Orion is the word Casil. That's right. 7 stars, Orion. It's right here. Right? And turneth the shadow of death into the morning, and maketh the day dark with night. That calleth for the waters of the sea, and poureth them out upon the face of the earth. The Lord is his name. Ane-Re is his name. That's right. Amos. They say it's Amos. Amos. Right? This is talking about those that have control of nature. The true name of the Most High Heavenly One, Ane-Re. There are 3,000 different tones. 3,000 or more different tones that make up the name. We only call 99 at the end of church. But there are many more. Right? But those names give you dominion over the earth. You understand? That's why when we say we have the ability to cause hurricanes and tornadoes and earthquakes, we're doing it inadvertently right now because the negativity that we're putting out there in the water and into nature comes back at us. Right? Verse 9. That strengtheneth the spoil against the strong, so that the spoil shall come against the fortress. Who are the spoil? The spoil of the oppressed. Okay, those who've been robbed of their way of life. Yep. Those who are being strengthened in this day and time by the Holy Qubtic Church, that's making sure that we have the whole story so that we can live with integrity. You can't live with integrity if you don't have the whole story. You can go look out there to go gamble, to go kill, to go murder, to go rape. Okay, because you don't have your whole self. So that the spoil shall come against the fortress, the castles. That's what they're building now. These churches look like castles. So much. Yeah, I'm knocking them, you know. We can have a nice one too. But the point is, are they filled? Or is it just a slow trip? Verse 10, they hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. When someone stand up in the church and ask questions, they don't like that. When someone say, yeah, but, I mean, we are talking about Jesus, like that was his name, and that couldn't have been his name because I was doing some studying last night and I saw the word Yahshua. Well, sit down, boy. How could there be power in the name Jesus if it wasn't his name? There's power in it, but for who? For those who worship in Zeus. That's what the word Jesus is. Jazeus, Isus, El Zeus, the Hyksos, the Hyksos. You understand? That's who brought that, the Greeks. Verse 11, for as much, therefore, as your treading is upon the poor, and this is the part here where we really can pause for a second, because these politicians, pastors, leaders in society, notice now, I ain't knocking nobody for having things. Nothing wrong with that. You work hard for your cars and your house, good for you. Okay? But these same people who eating every day, talking down to poor people and telling them they so bad. Because some people just make a living off gambling now. It's hit every week to pay them bills. Because you can't pay someone $200 a week and expect them to live. Or whatever minimum wage is now. Right? But listen to verse 11. For as much therefore as your treading is upon the poor, to trample on the poor, and ye take from him burdens of wheat. Every day, every month, you got to pay this enormous light bill, water bill, cable, whatever amenities you trying to just live with. Cable ain't no big deal. So don't say, he don't need cable. Yes, you do need cable to stay informed. You can't watch that Netflix. You done took that away too. So you do need it. And you're taking away the people's money so they can't even, you literally can't afford to live anymore. You mean to tell me, because I didn't go to school to become a lawyer or a doctor or accountant, I can't just live in a basic house? That's what this economy is saying to us right now. Only the rich supposed to live? That's why the poor got to gamble. Church can't help you. Church know the whole story. Ye have built houses of hewn stone. That means cut out stone. You don't just grab some stone and we throw them together and make something because the stormy season coming on, make sure on family. No, you had plans. You went to an architect and he cut out the stones for you. Yes, indeed. And then he made your roof with some fine timber. Yes, he did. Yes. Yeah. You have built houses of hewn stone, but ye shall not dwell in them. Let's look at this word dwell. Yashab, to sit down. By implication, to dwell, to remain, to settle, to marry. Because there's confusion in these homes now. After you done work so hard, build up everything. And you spend all the money giving to the lawyer and divorce court. Spend all the money paying for security. You see, my fella even got a security boot in front of his house. But you can't live in it. You can't settle down in it. Because the confusion you causing out there or allowing to happen, it can be in your homes. Can't enjoy it. Gotta work. You're always out there working. So how you can live in it? You can't live in it. Yeah? But ye shall not dwell in them. Ye have planted pleasant vineyards, but ye shall not drink the wine of them. Same concept there. Right? You can't even afford the house you're living in. Verse 12. For I know your manifold transgressions and your mighty sins. My gosh, there's something called mighty sins in the Bible. Sins anybody? No. Some people get mighty sins. The word mighty, powerful, numerous. Because you're sitting in a position where you could make policy to affect the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. And you're living off these people. You're trampling the poor. Yeah? You're misguiding people, taking their money, living off of them, and then telling them they wrong because they trying to put some food on the table. That's a mighty sin. They afflict the just. They take a bribe and they turn aside the poor and the gate from their right. Huh? You take a bribe, you're getting paid, but then you telling the poor they ain't supposed to get paid. And then you want to know why the people gambling? You want to know why they trying to make a quick dollar? You know there's people who leave this country several times a week or however many times to carry lottery tickets. Carry the lottery tickets so people can see if they win. So that's revenue coming out the country, streaming out the country. Then if gambling was legalized, money could be put to use. Okay? Which is where we're going with it. Right? Verse 13. Therefore, the prudent, the wise, those who are circumspect, intelligent, okay, shall do what? Shall keep silence. Shall keep silence in that time, for it is an evil time. You want to roll up on the Qubtic Church and find out our position on this? Or that? I can answer you without answering you. This is an evil time. We don't even know who we answering. Who's asking? What is your stand on gambling? Who's asking? We don't encourage our members to gamble. But if you go to the gas station, you get quick, God to be mad. And he ain't putting nothing in your bank account in the first place. Eh? All we're saying is use your common sense. Right? Verse 14. Seek good and not evil, that ye may live. And so the Lord, the God of hosts, shall be with you, as ye have spoken. Hate the evil and love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. Establish righteousness in the churches. Don't be around here parading around in nice clothes and cars and have big house and everything, but you don't have judgment or divine law established inside the gates. That's why the people don't respect what's in the gates. Because divine law, they erred in faith. Luke 16 says, it may be that the Lord God of hosts will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph, or the tribe of Joseph, of the original 12 tribes. Verse 16, therefore the Lord, the God of hosts, the Lord saith thus, wailing shall be in all streets. No, killing from Adelaide straight up east. All streets. And they shall say in all the highways, alas, alas. And they shall call the husbandman to the morning. And such as are skillful of lamentation to wailing. So that they call the mourners. You know, some people, they have mourners in some society. They have them here too. They just don't call them that. And in all the vineyards shall be wailing, for I will pass through thee, saith the Lord. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. Or you want the Lord to come in. You want the Lord to come? That's what he's saying. Woe unto you who desiring the day of the Lord. What should it say? To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness, not light. Because I come and slap you all upside your head. Why you can't wait till the moment you get home? You're so hungry? Yeah, but you don't play in the house. The kitchen dirty. The grass ain't cut. So you so happy for mommy and daddy to get home, but the cut they gonna put on you. You ain't gonna be happy with that. And that's where we at right now. We so out of whack that we can't wait for Jesus. Jesus ain't coming to smile up at y'all. Because you don't even talk the right message. You ain't even know what the message is. You don't even want to defend his image. But you say you love him. If you read a history book and had a white picture of Sir Lyndon Penland, would you say, that doesn't matter? What they can say? Just change. No, they can say, look here, just saying how the man look. Fix it. He's the father of the nation. For the talk shows to be going crazy. But you love Jesus though. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness, misery, destruction, death, ignorance, sorrow. That's what we in on. The day of the Lord. So they blame the devil. So they end up blaming the devil. It's God. That's who's doing it. It says the day of darkness and not light, not happiness. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him. Oh, I get away from that one. Yeah, but this one right here to meet you. That's the day and time we in. Huh? Or went into the house and laid his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light? Even very dark and no brightness in it. This is what's going on. Verse 21, I despise your feast days. It's talking to those who err from faith now. That's why the message today is churches are part of the reason people are gambling. Listen to what is being said here now. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs. Everybody got the biggest barn, and the churches got the best sound systems. For I will not hear the melody of thy viols. Like a violin, they call it a lyre. Lyre. But let judgment run down as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream. So that's what's happening in this day and time. Have ye offered unto me sacrifices and offerings in the wilderness 40 years, O house of Israel? You just celebrated 39 years. 39 years of propagating foolishness and not getting back into the true scriptures. But ye have borne the tabernacle of your Moloch. Who's Moloch? The chief deity of the Ammonites. Ammon was one of the children that Lot produced with his daughter, the younger daughter. A mingled and mixed and incestuous people is what this is saying, right? It goes on further to talk about Chiun or Kiun, a statue that is idol but used for some heathen deity. Alright? Baal. Your images. Why the Qubtic Church is a black Messiah? Because we got to get back to the right image. Man was a black man. The star of your God, which ye made to yourselves. And that's Elohim too in the Hebrew. Okay, well, not all Elohims was the original Elohims. Therefore will I cause you to go into captivity. Huh? You can be caught up in your knowledge, and you can be caught up in what you know is right, and you can be caught up in this and that and the next thing, but you ain't gonna be getting nowhere. You're gonna be lost in this wilderness, right? Therefore will I cause you to go into captivity beyond Damascus with the Lord, whose name is Nataru Elohim. The complete wholeness of nature. You see? So instead we have to get back to true faith. On page 10 of the original books of the Bible, we speak about true faith. It says the Holy Qubtic Church obtains all of her knowledge, doctrines, experiences, and rightful authority from the precepts, rites, and rituals which are passed down throughout countless generations through all those from the original sacrificial shepherd Asaru on down to the willing son, the Messiah, Yahshua Christ. This is where we get the authority to say what we're saying. We don't have to go knock on Vatican City door and ask if we can say what we're saying, because we were saying it before there ever was a Vatican. Our Vatican is Armana. It was built by Akhenaten. And for this reason, it has become necessary once again for this knowledge to be brought forth and preserved in written form within the pages of the original books of the Bible, which contains the principal Tamarain or ancient African realities of true faith, confirmed and taught to all members of humanity by the guardian angelic hosts who have come to earth in flesh in order to help guide humanity back to the bosom of the Most High Heavenly One. If you guide the people back to the bosom of the Most High Heavenly One, they don't have time to worry about gambling. They don't have time for it. Alright? This is said as these guardian angelic hosts personified amongst humanity as females and males. You got female angels too. That were guided by the great soul of Rawu, of the Most High Heavenly One, to teach their physical children, the seers, high priestesses and priests, scribes and true disciples, to memorize and inscribe these divine words for the original Qubtic Church out of Tamaray, ancient Africa, as well as all of us as members of humanity in this latter day. So we are someone and have those who are here to teach us the true scriptures and show us how to remember them so we can merge back in with the Most High Heavenly One. All of this took place only a short time after the ascension of each of these great angelic teachers, such as the original sacrificial shepherd, Asaru. This word Asaru is right in the Bible under the word Lazarus. Elazar is the word Lazarus in Hebrew. On down to the Messiah Yahshua Christ, whereby these realities had need of being preserved in a permanent form as papyruses, scrolls, and clay manuscripts, which today is presented to you in book form. This is what you're reading, not something we just pull out of our head. Oh, not about our anatomy. As such, the fraternity of the true Christian or Karastian doctrines, being influenced and guided by the principles and codes of the Holy Qubtic Church's Rite of Sacred Societies, has protected and guarded these 297 books and those like them, which contain the revelations of the Almighty Father to humanity, His children, in varying degrees of genetic potency. So this is what we're doing. This is why people need to hear what we have to say, and we need to be living and shining examples of it, so that the question of gambling is, it shouldn't even be a question of should people be allowed to gamble. They're already gambling. But the part that's ticking me off is these same people don't stand up. Why haven't we had a march on poverty? We talking about crime, we talking about gambling, but what's the reason why people gambling and doing crime? Because they poor. So they ain't just poor in money, they poor in spirit. That's the first place they poor in. And who's responsible for that? The church. And that's why we say the church is part of the reason why people gambling, is because the people don't have the full story. The church don't have the full story. And if we get back to that full story like we do here in the Holy Qubtic Church, the ancient African church, which is where all these churches came from, then we could get back to changing the people's hearts. You can't change the people's minds without changing their hearts. You cannot change their hearts without giving them the whole story. With that I say, Amen.